So, Rob, if it's championship or bust for the Nets, we don't have much time. But if it's championship or bust for the Nets, does this mean LeBron has won his last title? 36 years old, year 18. I mean, he's still playing at a phenomenal level for both his age and for anyone in their prime. But is LeBron's time run out?
Oh man, as the resident Lakers fan on this panel, it's gonna be tough for Brian Brown to win another chip.
They don't play the hard way. Yeah.
Welcome. Three the hard way. My name is Tariq Rashad. To my left and my right, wherever they're gonna be at.
Listen, you know what they call me, Robbie. You know what they call me.
They call you Robbie.
Listen, man, they call me logo WNBA Hunter. That's what they call me today.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You just here so you don't get fined?
All right, Marshall.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. By the time you see this, it will be Saturday. It's a shot on a Wednesday. We're gonna talk some basketball right now. The NBA All-Star game just passed. 3-point competition, lackluster slam dunk competition, All-Star game. We'll talk some LeBron. Blake Griffin just got signed to the Nets. They've added another veteran ex-superstar to that puzzle. So let's get into it. Starting with the weekend, All-Star weekend down in Atlanta. Look lit. All one day of events. How'd you guys like it?
Listen, man, my boy Sabonis came out and represented for the Indiana Pacers. You know what I mean, showing people that he's so skilled and versatile. But as far as the festivities of the day, I enjoyed it for the most part. I would say that, like you said, Ty, the dunk contest was pretty lackluster. It left me wanting a little bit more. But I feel like 3-point shootout, Steph put on a show. And the All-Star game was the All-Star game. Team LeBron came out and did what they're supposed to.
I feel like they did what they can, what they had. Everything was done in the day. It couldn't be a grand event because of the time constraint. So that's what you get when you have a dunk contest in the middle of a halftime show, right? Like, I can't really have the props and do all the other stuff. So at the end of the day, the 3-point contest, I feel like really stole the show. Steph Curry out here just drained threes left and right. He's on another level. But overall, the All-Star game was entertaining as well. Not because of, the competition, but because of the skill. Like, seeing Steph and Dame pull from half court at will just shows you the transition from the game. Giannis went 16 from 16 from the field, including 3 bank threes, which I just was like, that's kind of crazy. But it just shows you that, you do need a big man in the game. At the end of the day, you need a big in the game. And it shows you, just the evolution. At one point in the game, everybody was launching threes. There was no mid-range jump shots at all.
Baby. We ain't come to see two.
Yeah, we ain't come to see the mid-range, right?
Jump shots.
That's why Kawhi was out the game a lot. But that being said, it was real interesting to see just the change in the league, just the playing style. So I like the contest. I don't know what Rob talking about. Sabonis got the win for the skills challenge, which is great, but he barely got any playing time in a real game. So it just shows me how they value him. Just being my honest opinion. I see more Julius Randle bonus.
John's taking shots. John's taking shots. Let's talk 3-point.
Julius Randle in the first round. I just want to let that be known. Said putting out on wax.
Let's move over to the halftime show. We talked about the lackluster dunk contest. We're not going to spend too much time there. So about that 3-point competition. Rob, you said something in the production meeting that I really liked. You said that they didn't have any real stand and shoot corner 3-point specialist shooters in the competition outside of Stephen Curry, who's more than just that. But at the very least, he is that. So we kind of spoke and we decided that we would make a 3-point competition. If we could redo the 3-point competition, who would we add with Steph, what 6 people would we have if we wanted to bet against Steph? And let's be fair, Steph hasn't won every 3-point competition he's been a part of, but I think it's also fair to say that Steph is the best 3-point shooter we've ever seen. Fair? So,
That's fair.
Who would you guys add? What 5 would you put up against Steph to make sure that he didn't go home with the gold?
I want to hear John's list.
Well, I'm gonna start with Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles. These are jokes. These are jokes.
Joe Ingles, man. Listen, when we talk about all time, we talk about currently.
Talk about the last 20 years.
Last 20 years.
Last 20 years. I'm gonna go with Steve Nash. 42% field goal percentage behind the arc as a career 3-point shooter. Definitely gonna go with the guy that beat him, Joe Harris. Kyrie, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen. And the last one is tough. We got some snipers, man, between JJ, Clay, and Dame. Like that, those. Woo.
So that's your all-star. That's your all-star 3-point competition.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Clay. I'm gonna go with Clay.
So run the shit list one more time.
So I got Clay, Joe Harris, Kyrie, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, and Reggie Miller.
That's them. So you got an 18. You got an 18 8-player 3-point competition.
I have to shoot it out, bang bang.
So on wax, John, we gotta do it. On wax, we gotta do it.
But
6 people. 6 people, brother. You gotta take including Steph. We added Steph, and you only got 7 names outside of Steph. So
all right.
What 2 are you taking off? If you had to take 2 off, so we got them as honorable mentions. What are the 2 that would not make your all elite last 20-year 3-point competition?
Probably Kyrie and Joe Harris.
Joe Harris would make Joe Harris a champion. Kyrie's a champion. They both 3-point competition champions.
Yeah, Steve Nash shooting 43% from behind that arc. Clay, game 6, Clay is something real. We know what Reggie doing. We know what Ray Allen doing.
We talking about 3-point competition.
Listen, I'm not putting Kyrie or Joe Harris in front of Steve Nash, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, or Clay.
Yeah, John, I don't blame you, dog. I really don't, man. As far as my 5, excluding Steph, gotta go with Mr. Jesus Shuttlesworth himself, Ray Allen. Klay Thompson would definitely get the nod from me because he catches fire. He's as deadly as any shooter we've ever seen. My last 3, I got Peja Stojakovic. Because Peja was an assassin. Just pure shooter. JJ Redick, another guy who's just catch and shoot. You just give him the ball.
That's the thing with JJ. I like JJ as a pick. It's just that he's a catch and shoot. I don't know if he can grab 30 balls and just let them fly. JJ is usually in motion, running around, screen, catch, pop. Go ahead.
And last but not least, I got Kyle Korver, another person who could go just, this is batting practice for them. That shooting from a rack, they do that. No, Reggie? I had to.
How often do you shoot from a rack, Rob? As a basketball player, how often do you shoot from a rack?
I think when you're
technology, they got the nets, the ball comes right back at you.
I think, Ty, you are absolutely right. But on the opposite end, I think just standing still and shooting the same shot 5 times in a row is easier than running up and down the court. So, like, when I look at pure shooters like a JJ, like a Korver, these dudes hit 50 in a row if they need to. So, like, and it comes to 3-point competition, I would definitely be willing to put that field against Steph, man. With Ray Allen, Clay, Stojakovic, JJ, and Korver. I feel bad leaving Reggie Miller off. I really do.
You talk about disrespect.
But I feel like
Devin Booker. No, we gotta talk about this. You leave Reggie Miller out of this? This is disrespectful.
I feel like Reggie's one of those players that, you know, like he feeds off of the crowd. So, like, if the crowd ain't really there egging him on, like we've seen in the bubble, like we've seen at this 3-point shootout, he may not be as effective. I'm just looking at guys who are pure shooters. Not saying Reggie's not, but they get my nod over him.
Reggie played in Indiana in the farm. What crowd?
I hear you. I decided to keep my list current just to add a little bit of flair to my list. Also, it would help me keep people like Reggie and Ray Allen off the list, so I wouldn't have to hear any criticism if I left them off my list.
They guys talking about me being disrespectful.
Preferencing
Moving
moving the goalpost.
being disrespectful.
How about you moving the goal? This is me moving the goalposts
Crazy.
to make sure that I don't have to include, because I just felt, first and foremost, make sure Larry Legend gets some talk in this conversation. If there was anyone, period, at any generation that I would want to see go head to head with Steph, it would be someone like Larry Legend with the confidence that he had going into those 3-point competitions in his heyday. But if I had to make my all-star list or my all-elite list of 3-point shooters or 3-point competition, and using the current players in their current status, I'm gonna start with Clay with the broken knee. I think if you can play some crutches, get him around to the racks, I think Clay will give you put up 20 plus every time. I just believe he's that good of a shooter. Dame Lillard, I think he's game for the moment, even if he's not the catch and shoot 3-point specialist. He's a gamer, baller. So if you say here's the ledge, you got to climb over it. I think Dame is up for the task. So especially in an individual situation like this, I think he would definitely give Steph some trouble. Joe Harris had to be mentioned. He's won 3-point competitions. He's probably one of the pure shooters, probably one of the better pure shooters in the league. And he's also expanded his game, but he's still a pure shooter. And my last two are really tricky. One of them is Paul George. I think anything regular season, anything before April, if Paul George is good at it, he will perform. I think Paul George can, and talking about feeding off of crowds or not having a crowd, either way, I think Paul George would be strong competition. And the last one, John gonna like this one, because I think he's changed his game to becoming more of a catch and shoot player. And when his jump shot is on, that boy is water. And you're not looking for him in a 3-point competition, but if you've seen him in one, you might like him. And I got Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo in a competition like this, the way that he's been treated over the last couple of years, he's expanded his game to being one of those guys that can catch and shoot. When he catches fire, it's like the ball barely hits the net. He's been like that his whole career. Now that he's older, more confined, more chill, I think Carmelo, if this was to happen, I think Carmelo would be in the last two. I think Carmelo would have a crazy first round, and he would be one of the last two.
No Duncan Robinson?
Disapprove. I see you disapprove. Yeah. Open Duncan Robinson.
No, this is the dude who, if he takes 10 shots in a game, 8 of them are threes. All contested too, because they know he's shooting.
But is Duncan Robinson up for this challenge when he's going up against Steph, Clay, and Dame? I don't think he's up to the task. I think Paul George is up to the task. I think Joe Harris, this is what Joe Harris does. He's been in these situations. He knows what's up. And then Melo, reliable, man. I think Melo will make it a show. I want a show. Yeah. You got to make these next three. I got Melo. I got Melo doing it. And if this was to happen, in my opinion, I don't think Steph would win. If it was to happen, if you was to say best out of 3, Steph would win. If you're talking one time, 1 3-point competition, I got somebody else coming out with this one.
That's a tough list, Ty. I'm a Melo fan, bro, but I wouldn't have Melo in a 3-point contest. That's just me. And it's not because I don't feel like he can't be productive. I just feel like Melo's too behind the arc. He's too hot and cold.
Once Melo find it, man.
You gotta find it.
That's the case. Kobe should be in it. Shoot.
You said who?
Kobe.
Hmm?
If Kobe find it, man, I ain't trying to hear that time. He had the record for most threes in the game.
I'm trying to tell you that might. And we're talking about a situation where you're saying this guy is the best. Steph Curry is the best. Go beat him. Not in a 5-on-5 full team basketball game. Go beat him at what he's best at. I think Kobe would be up for the challenge. The late great would definitely be up for that type of challenge. Michael Jordan is not a good 3-point shooter. Historically, not a good 3-point shooter. I think if you put him in this situation, I also think that when you add those type of names, those type of ballers, it becomes more of a, I'm not going out there shooting against the field. I don't see Steph Curry walking over to these guys and saying something similar to what Larry Legend said when he's like, which one of you guys are coming in second? I don't see Steph Curry saying that to one of those guys in those situations. But let's switch over to our other basketball topic. The Nets acquired Blake Griffin. Everybody knows that. We've been talking about the Nets having to be a championship team before the accusations of Blake Griffin and James Harden. So any expectations to fall off? The Nets is still a championship team. Anybody feel any type of way differently about the addition of Blake Griffin? Does Blake Griffin make this team better?
I'm hot and cold about Blake Griffin. I do think that he is suffering from injuries and he's not the old Blake Griffin. I'm not expecting him to be the Clippers Blake Griffin dunking on everybody, but I do believe that he could. Him and Jeff Green will play some good minutes for them, provide some positionless basketballs. Both of them are great passers or decent passers that can move the ball around. Blake is a decent rebounder, or was a decent rebounder. I don't know how his knees going to hold up, but I think that he will be a good addition for them. I want to see how he does. Always, once again, with these stars coming in, it's always a defensive question, and I want to see how that works out. So I think it's a good addition. It's going to be interesting to see how they play together.
Just to give our boys some love, Christian Winfield, he put out a tweet 57 minutes ago. Says Blake Griffin quote, "I'm not injured at all." That's our boy. So I'm liable to believe his word. And what Blake Griffin does to the Nets, I'm not saying he puts them over the top, but he makes them that much more versatile. I do believe that he was holding himself back on Detroit. I can see that there was a power struggle between him and Jeremy Grant. Whose team is it? I'm the man. No, I'm supposed to be the man. I'm doing the most points. And so I don't think he was giving us his best basketball version of himself. But I think anytime you have someone as versatile as Blake Griffin, who is 6'9", big man who could pass, rebound, dribble, and he's not the best defender, but he's a bigger body. And you make him your fourth option. That's scary, bro. So it's championship bust in Brooklyn, dog. If the hardest signer ain't do it, this definitely does it.
Yeah, I don't think anything's changed for me. It's been championship or bust before the Harding signing. All of this stuff just throws more chips into the pot, and we'll see what happens. I still don't. We'll see. So Rob, if it's championship or bust for the Nets, we don't have much time. But if it's championship or bust for the Nets, does this mean LeBron has won his last title? 36 years old, year 18. I mean, he's still playing at a phenomenal level for both his age and for anyone in their prime. But is LeBron's time run out?
Oh, man. As the resident Lakers fan on this panel, it's going to be tough for Brown to win another chip, especially with the roster the way that it's currently constructed. We're going to need to add at least one more major solid piece or two solid role players. So I'm thinking like an Al Horford and like a George Hill combination, something like that, or like maybe LaMarcus Aldridge or something like. We're going to need some help. And like I've said this on the show before, I'm prone to believe that this Anthony Davis injury is worse than what they're telling us to be. So as far as this year, I don't think we got what it takes, man. But if LeBron drags his team to the finals, he gets a pass if he loses it.
Pass in what way?
I won't blame him for losing this one. This will be like the Cleveland finals, his first time.
So it's not championship or bust for you with the Lakers?
Nah. I don't expect us to win a championship this year. No.
John, before you go in on cross comparisons, are the Lakers a championship or bust team in your eyes?
I mean, this is my opinion. You have two superstars. You have supposedly the best player in the world. In a Western Conference that is not as tough as I don't feel like this Western Conference is tough as what it was before. I think there's a lot of parity in the West right now. It's the teams that's supposed to be good are not playing to the best level of basketball. You see Denver right now. You also see the Golden State Warriors. You also see San Antonio Spurs. The Rockets that fell off. So there's a lot of parity in the West right now. So for me, I think that the Lakers should go to the finals. This is like my expectation.
Championship or bust.
I'm telling you, like they should go to the finals. Championship or bust with AD being hurt. I don't think that's a fair analysis. But if they do go there, your expectation if you get to the finals is to win. End of story. Like that's it. So if you go there, you're not going there expecting to lose. That's similar to what you guys said to me about Brooklyn. So if that's the case, we gotta hold that across the board.
It's different when your second best player, the anchor of your entire defensive philosophy, is out. Just saying.
I mean, Kevin Durant's out.
I mean, my difference and I don't even
anchor of their defensive philosophy. I'm sorry.
The anchor to their team.
Sure.
I don't think the Nets nor the Lakers are on the same path. Therefore, I won't necessarily call it a bust for Lakers. So when I say championship or bust, as in you failed, I don't think the Lakers not winning a championship is a fail for that organization, for that team.
We're talking about Genie's bust Lakers, that every time the Lakers 27 championships Lakers, you go to the finals and you fail. That's not a failure? Are we dumbing our standards down for the Lakers?
I'm gonna finish my standard, but I don't think I'm dumbing my standard down. What I'm saying is they're not I'm not looking at them the same way I'm looking at Brooklyn. I'm looking at Brooklyn in the sense where you've added every single big name that you could in order to win a championship. Where I'm looking at the Lakers as they've put a team together that should be a winning team for the next 4 years. So I'm expecting them to go to the championship. I'm expecting them to win a championship.
Cash your question.
Not a bust. And this is where you're missing me, John. To me, it's not a bust if they don't win a championship. If the Lakers don't win a championship, the questions will not be anywhere near as harsh as the questions will be if the Nets don't win a championship. If the Lakers don't make it to the championship, the questions are answered. The questions rise for me. That's what my bust would be. It's make it to the championship for me or bust. It's a failure if they don't make it to the championship.
My final question.
That's just my opinion.
My final question to you: when the Lakers lost to the Celtics the very first time, I think it was like 2008, I want to say, when we didn't have Bynum and we didn't have Reza, would you consider that season a failure?
I'm not a Lakers fan.
I'm asking you.
I'm gonna say this. I remember vividly having this conversation with you, and you saying that the Lakers was going to win, and you said out of your own mouth that was a failure.
I did not say that. I said we didn't have Bynum and we didn't have Ariza. And the next 2 years when we had Bynum, when we traded Ariza for Ron Artest, we won championships. That's realistic basketball, John. That's being a realistic fan.
You telling me at the beginning of this season when you guys got Montrezl Harrell, you guys let go of Dwight, you guys got y'all let go of Rondo.
This happened before Anthony Davis.
We were not saying that the Lakers were not the favorites to win the championship this year.
All of this happened before.
And we were not saying that it was going to be championship or bust.
Let me say this. That
question was never posed to a team that had already won a championship.
Did I or did
we
I not?
expected them to win a championship.
Hold on. I just got to ask you.
This conversation never happened before because we never imagined the Lakers losing the championship.
This is the last question I had. This is the last thing I said. Did I or did I not say, to preface this whole entire thing, I believe that Anthony Davis's injury is worse than what they leaded us on to be.
You can say that.
Okay, I'm done. Like I said.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move over to the NFL in a little bit.
They don't play hot with the hard way.